with two longtime Russian rivals facing off for the first time this season. World silver medalist Irina Slutskaya looks to add her name to the list of Grand Prix finalists and would love to continue her winning streak against Maria BUTYRSKAYA, the '99 world champion who was also undefeated in this year's series. The men's event features another top-shelf showdown. Yevgeny Plushenko has been on cruise control and has not tasted defeat since last year's World Championships. Tonight, he goes head-to-head with a three-time world champion from Canada, Elvis Stoico, who's making a long-anticipated season debut. While Petrova and Tikhonov, the reigning world pairs champions, hope to finally break into the win column this year. And ice dancing's #1 duo, Anasina and Peisera, look to capture gold for the 9th consecutive time. The NHK Trophy is next. In the northernmost part of Japan, on the island of Hokkaido, we welcome you to the city of Asahikawa, a town of roughly 350,000 people, surrounded by vast areas of snow-covered wilderness. And they have not had a figure skating event of this magnitude here in some 10 years. They've been lining up throughout the afternoon and early evening hours despite the sub-freezing temperatures. And the fans have since made their way into the Taisetu Ice Arena for the final event in the Grand Prix Series. Tonight, the short programs in all 4 disciplines at the NHK Trophy. And hi, everybody. I'm Terry Gannon. The Grand Prix of figure skating is basically the regular season for those skaters hoping to vie for a medal at the World Championships later this season and ultimately at the Olympic Games. And if you have been with us at all over the past month and a half as we have traveled clear across the globe, you know that it all comes down to this competition here in Japan. After the NHK Trophy, we will know the 6 skaters or teams in each discipline that will qualify for the Grand Prix final in Tokyo in mid-February. The ladies, the men, and the ice dancers come up in just a little bit, but we get things underway with the pairs. And right now, there are 4 teams that have already qualified for the Grand Prix final. Salé and Pelletier of Canada, Berezhnaya Sikridlidze of Russia, the 2-time world champions, Shannon Zhao of China, and Abby Bowl and Bernadise of France. So there are 2 spots still open for that final. With me, as always, the Olympic silver medalist, Peter Carruthers. And Peter, we've been saying it throughout the year, a deep, talented pairs field, because in pairs right now it is very deep overall. But here we've got the top 3 teams from the World Championships last season.
Well, it's interesting to look what has happened to these top 3 teams since last season. Petrova and Tikhonov won all 3 Grand Prix events last year, but now, this year, the best that they were able to do was place second. They don't have the same attack and conviction in their skating. Unlike the team of Xue Shen and Hongbo Zhao of China, who have some of the most remarkable throws and side-by-side triples that I've ever seen in the sport of pair skating, and they have those planned in the short program. As for the French team of Abby Bowl and Bernadise, they've sort of been up and down this year. They won 1 Grand Prix event, but recently in France, they took 4th place, so they hope to improve upon their results here. But Terry, you said it best at the beginning. The top 3 teams from last year's World Championships, they're going to be gunning hard for the gold medal.
Well, and we will add this, too. There was a schedule change here with the pair short program. Those top 3 teams all arrived late because they expected the pair short program to be tomorrow. So none of them, after traveling long distances to get here, were able to practice yesterday, just a short practice earlier today before they tee it up for this short program. And a reminder, the short program, as always, 2 minutes and 40 seconds in length. And, Peter, there are 8 required elements. Yes,
and one of the more spectacular elements is the big throw jump. It will be a throw triple. We'll look for that in the short program.
USA, Danielle Hartzell and Steve Hartzell.
And we get underway with the U.S. champions from 1999, the brother-sister team of Danielle and Steve Hartzell.
They will open up with the backward outside death spiral. One of the more difficult elements in pair skating, at least in the short program, is the side-by-side triple jumps. These come up right now And they are doing the side-by-side triple toe loops. And she misses her jump. So there was unequal rotation, and they will take a deduction for that.
Great to see them back, though. They were out of commission for nearly a year. Danielle fractured her kneecap in practice last December. We saw them a few weeks ago at the Nations Cup competition in Germany. They placed 7th, but they were very excited just to be back in action among the best in the world.
It's difficult to come back after an injury like that for the lady, especially because she's being thrown and lifted. Thrown high off the ice, and certainly the lift's the same thing, so it can be a little bit scary, but they seem to be overcoming that. The split double twist lift. The object is to throw your partner as high as you can and then catch her as soft as you can so that there's a smooth landing. And now they'll conclude with the difficult throw triple. That knee coming into play, and she gets through that nicely.
Well, she has talked about the fact that the mental aspect of coming back from that injury is really the biggest challenge. Every time she goes up in the air, she can't help but think about it a little bit, how she's going to land. So it is great to see them back and being competitive again. They'll make it tough for Ina and Zimmerman to win another U.S. championship in Boston. Danielle and Steve Hartzell.
Now, these are the side-by-side triples that they were attempting. However, watch how he does a triple and she does not, so they will take a 0.3 of a point deduction for that. And this is the last item in their program. It's the throw triple Asahikawa. Again, forgetting about what's happened, and she gets through this really nice. She's got a good strong back to accommodate the force of that landing.
There's one of their coaches, Johnny Johns, a former U.S. champion. By the way, Jason Dungeon, another guy who won 2 U.S. titles, is also one of their coaches. First set of marks now for required elements, 4.1 to 4.7, Peter.
And the deductions taking their toll here on the first mark. It shows up in the required elements mark.
And now the marks for presentation, 4.6 up to 5.2. So the comeback trail continues for Danielle and Steve Hartzell of the U.S. And when we come back, one of the top teams from China, King Pang and Zhong Tong, take the ice next at the NHK Trophy. Welcome back to Asahikawa, Japan, the second largest city on this northern island of Hokkaido. A snowy, cold night here. And a reminder, ESPN's coverage of figure skating continues January 18th and 19th. We'll have the State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships from Boston. 4-time national champion Michelle Kwan takes on rising stars Sarah Hughes and Sasha Cohen, while Todd Eldridge is back trying to get his crown from defending champion Michael Weiss and Timothy Gable. Coverage of the short programs begins on January 18th at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Meanwhile, the pairs short program continues here at the NHK Trophy in Japan with one of the top teams from China, the '99 Chinese National Championships, King Pang and Zhong Tong.
Skating to tango. And as is true with really all the Chinese pairs these days, they're showing great improvement every time they get on the ice. However, at the last competition in France, they had a near disaster where she fell out of a lift and crashed to the ice. Remarkably, she kept going. Here, opening throw triple Salchow. Look at the height.
This is a team with enormous potential. We've seen it over the last year and a half, but they just have yet to really put it together. She's only 20 years old, and he's only 21.
Side-by-side triple jumps, and she has a spill there. They'll get a hard deduction for that. But I think that they are looking up to Shui Shen and Hongbo Zhao as their idols, and those are two strong people to pick if you're going to look at anyone in pair skating.
We've seen Pang and Tong twice already in the Grand Prix. They were 5th at Skate Canada, and then Peter mentioned the problems at Trophy La Ligue in Paris. They finished 6th there.
Look at how high up in the air she gets. That really is impressive to the judges to see a lift explode like that at the top. This is the backward outside death spiral. Judges want to see the lady's head close to the ice on that. They could go a little lower for that. Press lift, and this is the star lift with a layout position. Unfortunate that they had that fall at the beginning of the program. Now they will conclude with their side-by-side spins. One change of foot, at least one change of position. They have to do 5 revolutions on each foot. And the judges do count those revolutions. So not their best.
Well, they're both students at the College of Physical Culture in Beijing. They are also both from the skating mecca in China, Harbin, a city in the northeast part of that country. King Pang and Zhang Tong.
This was the throw triple Salchow. I am so impressed with the height that she gets. Now watch the way she accommodates the force as she lands and then immediately skates out of the throw. Very controlled. And here's where the problem took place, the side-by-side triple toe loops. He does his, but not well, but she really has a fall, and they'll take at least 3/10 of a deduction there. But I love this. Watch how high up in the air she goes. She's about 7 or 8 feet in the air, and then he puts her down very softly. That's the sign of control. Nice.
All right, so we'll see how much the early mistake cost them. The first set for required elements, 4.6 to 5.1.
You really are under a microscope when you're in the short program because you have to hit those 8 required elements, and they were not successful, so this mark reflects that.
15th in the world last season in Nice. And now the marks for presentation, 5.0 the low mark, up to 5.3. So King Pang and Zhang Tong of China move into the lead right now over Danielle and Steve Hartzell of the U.S. When we come back, Sarah Abitbol and Stéphane Bernardes, the 2000 world bronze medalists from France, skate next.
Representing France, Sarah Abitbol and Stéphane Bernardes.
Back in a very chilly part of northern Japan, the NHK Trophy continues. So does the pairs short program here, and Sarah Abitbol and Stéphane Bernardes of France are on the ice, the 2000 world bronze medalists.
What these two need to do is not so much attack their program as they need to just get through without mistakes, because it really is a good program, artistically speaking and technically. Opening side-by-side triples will set the tone for them. They get through. The judges want to see each partner skate close together on the side-by-side triples. You don't want to drift apart. Here, the split double twist lift. Very controlled.
Be interesting to watch how they're able to keep it going throughout this program and the week here, because the long flight from Paris, even if you don't have a stopover, it's at least 11 hours, and they're one of the teams that did not arrive early, couldn't practice yesterday.
They keep doing throws like that. That's the way to come in.
Yeah.
Change of foot required, and not great unison there. You may have noticed that they weren't spinning together at the same rate of speed. Fairly good program for them. They didn't have a lot of speed throughout, but again, it's really about not making mistakes. But with the Russians yet to come, the world champions, there really is no room for mistakes.
Very small margin for error. The first of the top three from the World Championships last season, Sarah Abitbol and Stéphane Bernardis of France.
Here's a look at the side-by-side triple toe loops. Look for a touchdown. That is like a 2-foot landing on him. He is putting his hand down right there, so that will be a little bit of a deduction for them there. And then this is the throw triple loop. She has great height, good position in the air, very confident on the landing.
5-3, 5-6.
Now, it's possible that they could end up being tied with two other teams overall in the Grand Prix with 12 points, but they won the Nations Cup competition in Germany, and that would break any tiebreakers. So they're in the Grand Prix final. First set, 5.2 to 5.7.
And very interesting to see the Russian judge with a 5.7 didn't catch the hand going down on that side-by-side triple.
And now presentation 5.3 up to 5.7. So Abitbol and Bernardis of France into the lead so far. Up next, Xue Shen and Hongbo Zhao from China. The two-time world silver medalist skate when NHK Trophy continues. So far, it's Abitbol and Bernardis of France in the lead over Pang and Tong of China and Danielle and Steve Hartzell of the U.S. But on the ice right now, the two-time world silver medalist, Xue Shen and Hongbo Zhao.
Something that makes this pair team so good is the fact that they really go after it. In other words, they don't hold back. They have a sort of abandon when they skate, but it's controlled. Here, the opening outside death spiral. Now, watching these two in practice with their side-by-side triples, they have been very solid. They hope to recreate that right here. Triple toe loops. Her a little bit bending over, but still not bad. But I've seen them do it better.
Well, you have to go back some time, as you alluded to earlier. We've seen a better one-on-one showdown and two teams right after another than we saw at the Cup of Russia when they took on BUTYRSKAYA and Lidze. Ended up with a silver medal there, but it's hard to imagine them skating any better than they did.
Check out the height she'll get on this. Just a walk in the park. These throws are huge. It's about 2.5 feet over the ice, traveling 15 feet, backwards on 1 foot. Very strong. Forward takeoff. And the variation, very nice and difficult. Spin combination. It's tough to keep the speed going when you change positions in a spin like this because it takes away from the centrifugal force that you have. So the object is to keep the spin spinning at a fast rate of speed. And they conclude with a huge split double twist lift.
Well, they said after their loss in Russia that they're going to go home and work on their presentation skills. This is a team that's going to be tough to beat at the Grand Prix final. They won it last year. Xue Shen and Hongbo Zhao of China.
As I made mention of this earlier, amazing the height that she gets. And the reason she can land this so well is she stays perpendicular to the ice. And that allows her to have a very good landing. This is hard to take a lift off forwards because what can happen is the man's feet can kick forward and you go right down on your back. It's very dangerous and they do it well. A difficult lift. And then this speaks for itself. Look at the height she gets. Way up in the air, delayed split double twist lift. Very nice and a good extension on the end of that.
No, it's interesting. They placed 4th in this event last season. Did not have a very good regular season in the Grand Prix, but they did come back to win that final, as I mentioned. First set, 5.3 up to 5.8.
What a disparity to see a 5.8 all the way down to 5.4.
And that 5.3 from the one judge. Presentation marks 5.4 now up to 5.8. So it's enough to put Xue Shen and Hongbo Zhao of China into the lead over Abitbol and Bernadette. And up next, the final team to take the ice here in Japan. Maria Petrova and Alexei Tikhonov, the reigning world champions, skate when we come back. Back in Japan, NHK Trophy continues. Terry Gannon, Peter Carruthers. Right now, the final team to take the ice here in the short program. Right now, it's Xue Shen and Hongbo Zhao in the lead. Abitbol and Bernadette in second. Peng and Tong of China in third. But here are the reigning world champions from Russia, Maria Petrova and Alexei Tikhonov, looking for their first win on the season.
Now this could be theirs for the taking. Remember, they're skating last. So if they can come out here and really nail this performance, they could get the marks to put them in first place, but they can't afford mistakes. And they will open up with the very difficult side-by-side triple toe loops. Oh, was she determined there? A scratchy landing when you see ice fly up like that. Skater pitching forward, that's the teeth on the front of the blade stopping you from falling forwards. Throw triple sow cow. Very secure.
won all 3 of the regular season Grand Prix events last season, then the world title, but they finished 3rd at Skate Canada this season and 2nd at Nations Cup.
Now, these so far are very good spins because they were spinning together and they had a nice low position in the sit spin. Back hand-to-hand press lift. Watch her somersault out and then a 1-foot landing. Nice variation there. Backward outside death spiral, hard to do because the lady has to lift her left hip and yet lower her head to the ice. You know, it's going to be close because all of these teams skated pretty well, but nobody was exceptional. So really, it's interpretation at this point.
It's a pick 'em right now, and the judges are going to have to pick one. So Shen and Zhao in the lead. We'll see what the judges do with Maria Petrova and Alexei Tikhonov of Russia.
Here are the side-by-side triple toe loops that were really very close to the judges. And really, there's no deduction there. Her landing, however, was not that great, but good all in all in the short program. This is the throw triple Asahikawa. Watch her back in the air. She has a nice straight position. And then a good back on the landing, perpendicular to the ice. That's just what you need. And this is the back hand-to-hand press lift. What makes this lift difficult is really the ending. Watch how she comes down out of the air and somersaults while he's still holding her hand, and then a pretty good exit there.
Now we should point out that there is a Russian judge here and a judge from China.
5-6.
Now the first set. Required element marks 5.4 up to 5.7.
Well, looking at these marks off the top of my head, there's quite a range in there, so it's going to be very close in terms of where they end up.
Comes down to the presentation marks. Here you go.
Whoa.
5.5 up to 5.9. So if you look at the Russian judge, much higher marks for Petrova and Tikhonov than those of Shen and Zhao. And the Chinese judge, similar marks between the two. Not that we're counting, but it's Petrova and Tikhonov, the reigning world champs, who go into the lead here after the short program over Shen and Zhao of China, and then Abby Bowl and Bernadise in third. The top 3 from the World Championships last season. The Hartzels from the U.S. currently in 5th. Don't forget, you can see the pairs finals and the free dance over on Lifetime. That comes your way Friday evening beginning at 9 o'clock Eastern. And the ladies and the men skate for gold over on ABC Sports Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific time. Up next, the men will take the ice, including Yevgeny Plishenko and Elvis Stoiko. The men's short program as NHK Trophy continues from Japan. Welcome back, everybody, to Asahikawa, Japan. Taisetu Arena, the site for the NHK Trophy. The men on the ice warming up for their short program. This is the final event in the Grand Prix. And so far, as we look at the standings, 3 skaters have qualified for the Grand Prix, including 2 Americans, Timothy Gable and Todd Eldridge. Matt Savoy with a good chance to get to Tokyo as well. Yevgeny Plishenko trying to secure his spot here in Japan. Hi again, everybody. I'm Terry Gannon. Breaking news concerning the men's short program and the entire event here in Asahikawa. The 3-time world champion Elvis Stoiko from Canada made the long trip over here for his much anticipated and delayed season debut. That debut was delayed because of his injury to his left Achilles tendon. He has struggled with that throughout this entire season. And just a few moments ago, we learned after a practice right before this short program that he has been forced to withdraw. Peter Carruthers has made his way over to have a word with him right now.
Thank you, Terry. Elvis, what is the situation with the injury?
Well, as of now, it's the left groin. It's been aggravating me a little bit. It's not torn or anything like that. It's just tight, and it's kind of pulled and strained. Practice one day, if I haven't done a lot, the next day is fine. I can do triple axels and quad toes. The day after that, it's sore. Don't want to go up, and if I pushed it any harder, I could feel it would cause some problems. The doctor said the same thing. It could go further. I've had this before on the other leg. I know what it end up being, so I don't want to stress it.
Definitely not what you want in your season, but looking forward to the World Championships, how's that going to affect you?
I don't think it'll be a factor. I've got a lot of good time now to heal up before nationals. You know, it's going to be a chance for me just to heal now. If I did skate, you know what it's like with adrenaline. You don't feel anything, you go out, but you feel it after. And I could cause some more damage if I can't feel anything while I'm out there. And that was a decision I had talked with Ushi about. I know how I am under pressure. I'll push it and I'll go for it. I don't want to do that here. It's not worth the risk.
Pressure skater you are. Good luck, and I hope you have a good recovery.
Thanks a lot.
Terry, back to you.
All right, Peter, thank you. So the injury now, a groin injury. It started down in the Achilles tendon, but Elvis Stoyko not able to compete here. And that leaves Yevgeny Plushenko in a familiar spot. The Russian has been the overwhelming favorite in every Grand Prix event in which he has entered. And he is once again with no clear rival, trying to win his third gold medal in the Grand Prix and secure a spot in the Grand Prix final. Well, the men's short program, as always, 2 minutes and 40 seconds in length, worth 1/3 of the overall score. And there are 8 required elements here. The quad is allowed in the short, and it is always a major factor. Back in Asahikawa, Japan, there's the man, Yevgeny Plushenko. This is the guy most of them have come to see. The 2-time world medalist from Russia. He has not lost in the Grand Prix series in almost 2 years. He won every event last season. He has 2 gold medals in the Grand Prix this season. And he's skating as well as he's ever skated.
That's for sure. His music, Bolero. It's almost just like another thing to see him do a quad. Here it is, the opening quadruple toe loop, triple toe loop. Look at that, you know.
He gives you that little flick at the end just to let you know everything's under control, and it was easy.
He does. We've just seen him on the Grand Prix get better and better. Triple axel, the hardest jump you can do next to the quad, 3.5 rotations. Amazing steps right there. I think what I'm seeing from Plushenko is he's really mounting towards a big charge in the Grand Prix finals and then the World Championships. Consistency and confidence coming more and more into his skating.
Philip Hart at last year's World Championship still doesn't know what happened there. He came in 4th. Alexei Yagudin, his countryman and rival, won his 3rd straight world title there.
See, that shows a lot of energy. He's in great shape. And you know, he's not afraid to let his competitors know how good he is, too. Take that.
You know, every time I watch Alexei Yagudin skate, I think he's the best in the world. Every time I watch Yevgeny Plushenko skate, he's the best in the world.
That's so true, you know. Put them on the ice together and we'll be able to decide.
That's what they ought to do at the Grand Prix final. Put them both on the ice together and have a skate-off.
Yeah, really. This guy has just been so impressive.
Wow. Only 18 years of age. From Volgograd, Russia. He now lives in St. Petersburg. Yevgeny Plushenko.
Boy, does he just motor into this. This is the quadruple toe loop. Look at the height that he gets. And he has such good check. That means he stops the rotation, sets himself up nicely for that triple toe loop. As you said, a little hand flick there to show that, hey, man, it's easy to me. And here's another look at him really getting those feet together to get that rotation going, and that left leg coming back to stop the rotation, then right up into the triple toe loop. Perfect. And then this is an edge jump. This is the triple axel. You don't jab your foot in. You have to edge off the left foot. 3.5 rotations. A little forward, but still, he's so strong. No problem.
No reason to save the marks now and leave any room at the top if you're a judge. First set, look at how high those are. 5.8s and 5.9s.
Just huge marks. Very good for him. You know, he's 2-0 on the Grand Prix, and no doubt he's probably going to go to 3-0 after this competition.
3-0, he needs a third hand right now for those flowers. He's got teddy bears, flowers, everything else. Presentation marks now. Who? Whoa, 5.8, and the rest 5.9s across the board for Yevgeny Plushenko. His coach, Alexei Mishin, used to coach Alexei Yagudin. That's a heck of a duo. And they will go at it at the Grand Prix final for sure. And up next, the Chinese national champion, the high-flying Cheng Jiang Li, is on the ice when we come back to the NHK Trophy. Back at the NHK Trophy, the men's short program continues. Terry Gann and Peter Carruthers with you. Here is Cheng Jiang Li of China, the reigning Chinese national champion, 21 years of age, originally from Chengcheng, now lives and trains in Beijing.
And this man went into the history books when he became the first to land a quad in the short program. He did that at the Four Continents competition back in '99. So let's see if he can hit his quad here. Toe loop. Wow, look at that. Just terrific. Triple axel, triple toe loop. He's really on a roll.
Got great ability. His problem has been inconsistency. He was 9th at Skate Canada early in the year. He's just awful. I mean, there's no way to whitewash him.
I was just thinking about that. What a turnaround this is for him. I think the writing was on the wall for him at Skate Canada, and he has gone home, worked hard, and got his jumping technique back. That's why this Grand Prix is such a good thing, incidentally, leading up to the World Championships or the finals. It really gets these guys in good shape early in the season.
If you're Michel Kwan, though, someone who's been around for a long time, Alexei Yagudin, is there a danger in peaking too early?
Absolutely, there is a danger. But look at Plushenko. He just gets better and better as the season goes on. So there's two schools of thought. You know, you can skate defensively leading up to the World Championship and the Grand Prix finals, or you can go for it 100% the way Plushenko is and just improve.
Well, I'll leave it alone after this, but Plushenko may have peaked too early last season.
That's true.
He came in 4th at the World Championships. So we'll see.
Silly mistake for him. A very easy, what should be an easy double axel. He just got his feet wrapped together and didn't check out. He has to take a 4/10 of a deduction there. What a setback. Too bad. Oh, my. He's going to be saying, what was I doing?
That's what he's saying right now.
Oh, my gosh.
He's saying it right now.
Oh, to see him be so proficient in the jumps and then that at the end.
Yeah, he had a great one going. And he may have gotten a little bit tired at the end, even though it is the short program. Chang Jiang Li.
This is the quadruple toe loop that was so impressive. Very good landing here. Stable, rock solid. And then what makes the quad rotate so fast is not necessarily the height you get, but how fast you get your arms and legs together to generate the rotation. He does that very well. Plus, he does have a lot of height. And then here, this triple axle, just huge, with a big triple toe loop on the end of it. I mean, he was just sailing through this program until he got to the easiest jump in his program, which is the double axle. His feet don't check out. He just has some kind of a moment of, I don't know, lack of concentration, for no other words. Strange.
And now the marks for required elements, 5.0 to 5.2, Peter, and you see where that certainly hurt him there.
It did. He regrets that mistake in a big way.
And presentation marks, 5.3 up to a high mark of 5.7. So Lee into third place for the moment. Up next, the young Russian with a chance to make it to the Grand Prix final. He's got to skate well here, though. Ilya Klimkin skates when we come back. So now it's Ilya Klimkin's chance. The youngster from Russia, only 20 years of age, from Moscow, and he has a chance to make the Grand Prix final. He had a silver medal at home at Cup of Russia. The junior world champion from 1999. And since he came on the stage at that point, everyone has pointed to this young man and said, there's a guy with a lot of potential. It's just hard to break through in Russia. The field is so deep.
Opening up on his quad. Oh, he didn't check the landing. In other words, the arms have to come out, the left leg has to go back to stop the rotation, and he did little 3 turns into the second jump. And that will cost him 1/10 of the point off the first mark.
1/10?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yep.
Why even
making a
mention
mistake
it?
like that? Yeah, well, that's what the short program's all about. You have deductions for mistakes that fall within the jumps, spins.
Still get a 5.9.
I see what you're saying. It doesn't work like that, though.
Different kind of skater, isn't he?
Yeah, the style is different from what one would ordinarily see, but
That was certainly different.
yeah, that was actually invented by Mr. Frick in the old days in the ice volley. Comedians used to do that in the show.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty psyched about that for himself anyway, but a little bit of a problem on the quad.
But if he places Peter 4th or higher here, he's got a really good chance to go to the Grand Prix final. At least he would have a shot at that point anyway. Ilya Klimkin of Russia.
Skating up into the quad. He gets good height, but starts to lean. See that lean? That's why he kind of does these strange little 3 turns. He wanted to jump right up in the air after the first jump, but that didn't happen, so he'll take 1/10 there. Not much of a deduction, but still, you don't want any deductions. And here's the Mr. Frick move that I used to see as a kid growing up in the Boston area when ice capades or ice volleys would come into town. But he incorporates it as a move into his program.
So he's a vintage skater, I guess, bringing back the old days. Some of the moves, at least. First set of marks now, 5-2 up to 5-6.
5-6, 5-5, 5-3.
Pretty wide range.
Quite a wide range, up to 5-6 to 5-2. That deduction hurting.
Presentation marks now 5.4 up to 5.7. He's pumped. He likes it. Ilya Klimkin right behind Yevgeny Plushenko. He's in second place at the moment. Takeshi Honda taking the ice, one of the hometown favorites from Fukushima, Miyagi, Japan, the 3-time national champion of this country. He was 6th at the '99 World Championships.
His music, Don Quixote. I talked to his coach, Doug Lee, and I said, asked him, when is it going to come together for Honda? When is he going to put all of the jumps in one program and have excellence? He said it could happen anytime. He's trained and ready. Here, the quad toe, double toe loop combination. Plagued with inconsistency. Off to a much better start here.
Yeah, he's coached by Doug Lee, the former coach of Elvis Stoico, and trains in Ontario, Canada. He said it's kind of quiet since Elvis left and went to the Philadelphia area.
Oh, there's an example of what I was talking about, a fallout on the triple axel. He's got a wonderful freedom to his skating when he's on the ice. A good look of dance within his skating. And really, when he's in practice, he's very good with the jumps.
You hear the crowd clapping along with the music here. This is as demonstrative as they get, and they won't be after that jump. He's got everything you need to be a champion, except sometimes the ability to stand up and handle the pressure that falls on him. Youngest Japanese national champion at the age of 14 back in 1996. Great potential, but maybe a blown opportunity here, too, because he had a chance to qualify for the Grand Prix final. Didn't take advantage. We'll have his marks when we come back. Up next, Trifon Zivanovic, the current U.S. bronze medalist, skates when the NHK trophy continues. Your top two right now in the men's short program, well, there they are. Yevgeny Plushenko on the right, Ilya Klimkin on the left, both from Russia, and both are very good so far. Just watching now. Required elements, 4.3 up to 5.2.
5-6,
Not good scores for him to see. Low of 4.3.
5-6.
Really a setback.
Takeshi Honda, presentation marks 5-1 up to 5-7. He's all the way down in 5th place at the moment.
Trifon Zivanovic.
There is a skater from the U.S. here, and he's on the ice ready to go right now. The 25-year-old from Los Angeles, Trifon Zivanovic, the current U.S. bronze medalist. We saw him at Skate America earlier in the Grand Prix. Did not have a good time of it there in the altitude in Colorado Springs. Came in 8th. Trying to improve on that now.
Music from The Mummy. He will not attempt a quad, however. Double flip, triple toe loop. Here, the triple axel.
Trifon recently moved to Burbank out in the LA area. Got a nice little new pad, he told us. Long trip over here to Japan. Triple Lutz at the end of his program. The only jump harder than the triple Lutz is the triple axel, and then of course the quad after that. But a pretty good program for him. The speed throughout maybe could be improved. In other words, how fast he skates, but pretty good. Yeah, and the early mistake maybe took a little bit of the edge off, though. He got through it, though. Trifon Zivanovic of the U.S.
This was his opening jump combination right here. Right foot going in, and it's only a double flip, and then followed up by a triple toe loop. However, that is acceptable since you can do a double with a triple. And then this is the triple axel, 3.5 rotations. Very good there.
There he is along with his coach now, Gary Visconti, the two-time U.S. champion. First set of marks for required elements, 4.5 from the French judge, up to 5.4.
A very low score of 4.5, considering that he had up to 5.2, a big disparity there.
And now presentation marks. Look at the wide range here, Peter. I get a 4.6 from the French judge. So wide ranges on both sets of marks for Trifon Zivanovic, and right now that places him, well, he's in 6th place at the moment. Won't be happy with that.
5-4, 4-6.
The final skater now in the men's short program, Ben Ferreira of Canada, the current Canadian bronze medalist, with a chance to go to the Grand Prix final, but he would need to finish 2nd or higher to have any shot.
Really nice opening triple axel, triple toe loop. 3.5 rotations on the first jump, another 3 on the second, so very explosive in the beginning here. Triple Lutz, very nice.
One thing the withdrawal of Elvis Stoiko has done, even though Elvis couldn't go to the Grand Prix final, this would have been his only Grand Prix event. Those points now are available for other skaters like Ben Ferreira who are trying to get to the final in Tokyo.
That's where strategy comes in, and you're not thinking about that actually while you're on the ice, but before you get on, you say, hey, I've got a chance.
Sure. Are you thinking about the $30,000 first place prize money when you're on the ice?
I only did that when I was a pro. Because back in those days when we skated, the most you could make was $215 for an exhibition per show.
Yeah, it's changed just a little bit.
All the power to him now.
How did they come up with $215?
That was what the ISU thought was a fair fee for our services when we would tour around, and that was it. Pretty good performance for Ferreira. He had a nice opening triple axel, triple toe combination.
And a very nice reaction from the crowd here in Japan. Good hand for the 21-year-old from Edmonton.
And here's a look at that triple axel. Really gets up in the air nicely and stops the rotation, enabling him 3 rotations for the triple toe loop. So he really got things moving nicely here, and then also followed through, right foot picking in, just the way a pole vaulter would use his pole to get up in the air. Very nice there, confident landing, good run out.
All right, here are the marks now for required elements, 5.1 to 5.5.
5.5.
Well, listen, these are good scores for him. Considering what has happened prior to his performance, he stepped up and did very well in terms of meeting the pressure, and he had some good jumps to do that.
Presentation marks 5.2 up to 5.6. Yeah, that's great. Ben Ferreira from Canada all the way up into 3rd place right now. That's a good position for him. But as we check the standings after the short program, it is Yevgeny Plushenko as expected at the top. Another Russian, Ilya Klimpkin, in 2nd. Then Ben Ferreira from Canada in 3rd. Don't forget, the men and the ladies skate for gold Sunday afternoon on ABC Sports. Our coverage begins at 2 Eastern, 1 Pacific time. Up next, the original dance, including the reigning world champs Anasina and Peisera. A blustery night here in the city of Asahikawa in northern Japan. Not snowing right now, but it basically snows every day this time of year here. Welcome you back inside the Taisetu Ice Arena. The NHK trophy continues now. Terry Gannon along with Peter Carruthers getting set for the original dance. And here are the standings through 5 events in the Grand Prix. Overall, 3 teams have clinched. Chait and Sagnovsky of Israel should be in. Drobiazko and Vanegas, Winkler and Rosa are here skating in Japan, trying to get to Tokyo for the final. And a good look at the reigning world champions from France, Marina Anasina and Gwendal Peisera.
And the world champions can choose music in this original dance between a foxtrot, quick-step Charleston, or a march, 2 of 3 of the following rhythms. Now, Anasina and Peisera have had difficulty in the original dance. Both times on the Grand Prix that they've done this original dance, they have stumbled, so they really are looking to improve upon that here. As for Drobiazko and Vanagas from Lithuania, they were third at Worlds last year, and this is the first time that the Lithuanians have met up with the French team. So we have part of the podium here from the World Championships. And then the team of Losa and Winkler, with a second-place finish here, they will clinch a spot for the Grand Prix finals. However, if they come in third, then they will go into a tiebreaker with Bourne and Kratz. So there's a lot on the line here for them.
So you got that, everybody? There'll be a test later on. Compulsory dance standings as we head into the original dance. Anasina and Pezera in the lead over Drobiazko and Vanagas. Winkler and Losa right now in third. They need to stay there or even capture the silver, hopefully, to make sure they get a spot in Tokyo. And getting things underway here in the original dance, the 6-time national champions of Poland, Sylwia Nowak and Sebastian Koleszyński. Fifth place after the compulsory dance. We saw them at the Cup of Russia a few weeks ago. Disappointing finish for them there. They placed 7th.
Starting out with the straight line step sequence, judges checking out to see how stable they are on their feet individually. Later we'll see them hold hands and do various dance holds throughout the step sequence.
Is it much harder, Peter, when you are closer together like that, holding hands?
It's just a different type of skating. When you're close together, there's more danger of tripping over your partner's feet, but when you're apart, you have to make sure that you have good agility and show a lot of coordination.
The original dance, of course, the second of 3 phases of the competition for the ice dancers, 2.5 minutes long, worth 30% of the overall score.
A little slow. Oh, right there. Ooh. That's a. Now, right now, the judges are counting 1001, 1002. The longer you're down on the ice, the greater the deduction on the mark.
Plus, it just ruins the overall effect of the program, doesn't it?
It really does, and I was just about to mention they look a little sluggish with their footwork. And when that happens, it's easy to catch an edge and go down. But they picked up nicely. That was a hard fall. So when a couple falls for 5 seconds or less, there's a 0.3 of a point deduction. When you fall for 6 to 15 seconds, well, it goes up to 4/10, all the way up to a point, but that was a disappointment for them.
She is still trying to find herself out there on the ice and figure out what went wrong. Sylwia Nowak, Sebastian Koleszyński, disappointing program.
Now, when the couple falls here, what the judges do is they count 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. So that could be 0.3 of a point. If it's more than 5 seconds, it's 0.4 to a whole point.
And he can't be saved by the bell here either, by the way. Now the first of 2 sets of marks. In the original dance, the first set is for composition, 4.6 up to 5.2.
And it's clear that the deduction taking its toll on the first mark. However, the presentation mark should be higher.
And here they are now, 5.0 up to 5.5. So they are higher, but certainly
not what they wanted.
No, Sylwia Nowak and Sebastian Koleszyński did not see the marks they wanted to get here in Japan. Up next, the 2000 U.S. bronze medalists, Debbie Kagel and Oleg Fedyukov, take the ice when we come back to Japan.
Representing USA, Deborah Kagel and Oleg Fedyukov.
And the team that's in 8th place after the compulsory dance, they're from the U.S., the U.S. bronze medalists, Debbie Cagle and Oleg Fedyukov. This is their only appearance in the Grand Prix series this season. They were forced to withdraw from their first event because Debbie was injured. She had pulled muscle in her shoulder that kept her away from the ice.
So this is truly a comeback for them, testing the waters in competition after this injury. Not easy to do.
Cagle from Norristown, Pennsylvania, and Oleg Fedyukov, originally from Moscow. They teamed up back in 1996.
This is their straight line step sequence, and what they're going to want to try to do is make this faster and show more difficulty within the steps. We'll see teams later on that have that.
Never remind me of anyone who reminds me of anyone other than you.
They train, by the way, in Aston, Pennsylvania, the same rink with the same coach as Elvis Stoiko.
You know, when you're developing parts of the program, you can spend weeks just coming up with the one step sequence that goes down the ice, as this one does here. You have to break apart your program and work on it in sections.
That's all. That's all. That's all.
So we saw the continued comeback earlier in the show of Danielle and Steve Hartzell in pairs, and now coming back off the injury, Debbie Cagle and Oleg Fedyukov. We'll come back and check the marks for the Americans, and then an important performance for the German national champions. Kathi Winkler and Renee Losa take the ice, fighting for a spot at the Grand Prix final next. Earlier today, a good look at the Narita-san Shinkyu Temple, one of the examples of the old Japanese culture here, the statue of a Buddhist monk. Worshippers come and leave their offerings in the hopes that their prayers will be answered. And a reminder, ESPN's coverage of figure skating continues on January 18th and 19th. We'll be at the State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships in Boston. Four-time national champ Michelle Kwan tries to hold off the younger generation there. Todd Eldridge trying to get his title back from the two-time defending champion Michael Weiss. Timothy Gable will be a top contender, too. Coverage of the short programs begins on January 18th at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. For more, log on to ESPN.com. And the original dance continues. Debbie Cagle, Oleg Fedyukov looking at their marks now. The first set, 4.7 to 5.0.
And you just heard him say first time competing, so they are just glad to have gotten through this dance, and not the difficulty that we're going to see from the world champions by any means.
And you saw the presentation marks there as well.
Kathi Winkler, Renee Losa組、ドイツ。リズムはチャールストン、クイックステップです。
So now a critical performance coming up for Kathi Winkler and Renee Losa of Germany. They are trying to get to the Grand Prix final in Tokyo. Peter mentioned it earlier. With a second-place finish, they would clinch a spot. A third-place finish, they'd go to a tiebreaker with Born and Kratz of Canada, and that is a lengthy thing to try to figure out, folks. They're in third right now, though.
And the matter at hand is the music from Cabaret, Hot Honey Red. And they really execute the character well with difficult steps. pace, very fast.
Bit of a disappointment at Nations Cup in Germany, in their home country. They placed 4th, but that was a non-scoring event for them. They went on to place 3rd at Trophy La Ligue in Paris. Remember, you can compete up to 3 times in the series, but only 2 count in the standings.
A little bit of a unison problem there. They weren't stepping exactly at the same time together. When you're skating together, you don't want to have a lot of separation between the upper bodies. The closer together you are, the more that can go wrong, but it creates a nicer look. There's their diagonal step, arm in arm, hand in hand. And their dance lift that concludes. A lot of character within the dance, but a little bit of a unison problem in there on the steps.
You do see a difference right away, though, but when they take the ice between a Winkler and Losa, some of the other teams trying to work their way up the ladder.
Well, they have a lot of expression within their skating, and they really sell the character, and that comes from experience.
Kate Winkler and Rene Losa.
What the judges are looking for is to see that they're together, and you can see that they're kind of out of step here, not as sharp as it could be. Very slight, but in the world of ice dancing, you have to be right on.
All right, now we see what the judges think. As Rene Losa says hello to someone back home. Composition marks 5.3 to 5.6.
5.3 from the Polish judge, picking up on the unison problem there. But again, their presentation was good.
Up to a 5.8 for presentation, that from the U.S. judge. So Kate Winkler and Rene Losa, good original dance here in Japan. And up next, Margarita Drobiazko and Povilas Vanagas from Lithuania, the reigning world bronze medalists, skate when we return to Japan. Back in Japan, the NHK trophy continues. So does the original dance. Terry Gann and Peter Carruthers ringside as Margarita Drobiazko and Povilas Vanagas of Lithuania take the ice. Reigning world bronze medalists. They are in 2nd place heading into this portion of the competition.
They have a real traditional look to their skating. In other words, their foundation is very good. The carriage that they have, their backs, posture, all very controlled. Every move right together.
C'est elle qui pilote, c'est elle qui capote, c'est moi qui vais sur le gazon.
There's the dance spin. Have to have 3 revolutions on there, and they usually make that.
Si l'on fait une station chez le bistrot pour l'intonation, c'est elle qui picole tout le monde de
going down the ice on the straight line step. Good unison.
Now, while they're making a run at Anasina and Peisara, the world champs, who are in first place. Remember, this is the team that Winkler and Losa are trying to edge out for the silver medal to assure themselves of a spot at the Grand Prix final. GEOBLOCKING and Vanagas are technically not in yet, but they surely will secure their spot here in Japan.
They have a great look in that they can really explode, accelerate fast out of these difficult steps. Look at the speed they're carrying over the ice. Turns, changes of direction, hard to do. And they'll conclude with their dance lift. A very good performance for them, and it's interesting in ice dancing. You see so much originality in the lifts that they do, and that's key to impress the judges.
And we'll see what the judges think here, because remember, Anasina and Peisara have had problems with their original dance all season, and this is the highest ranked team to test the French team all year long. GEOBLOCKING and Vanagas of Lithuania.
Here's the dance lift. The key to this is not to let it get out of control and spin too fast, but he stays right over his feet, very centered. Nice job there. And then this is the final lift that they did. Again, the originality that they have is excellent. Seeing lifts that we haven't seen before. Really pushing the envelope.
All right, so let's check the marks now. Very important marks, remember, in trying to overtake the French. Composition, a wide range, 5.3, the low mark up to 5.7.
Very low mark from the U.S. judge. To see that, and then up to 5.7 from the French judge and Ukraine.
And now for presentation, again, a 5.3, the low mark from the American judge, up to 5.8. So GEOBLOCKING and Vanagas in the lead over Winkler and Losa for the moment. And up next, the reigning world champions from France, Marina Anasina and Gwendal Peisara, skate when we return. Back in Asahikawa, Japan, and the headliners taking the ice now in the original dance. The final team to compete tonight, Marina Anasina and Gwendal Peisara, the reigning world champs. They have not lost all year long. In fact, they have not lost in almost 2 years now.
They've had, as I mentioned earlier, stumbles in this original dance. Their goal is to really get through without mistakes. But look at the flow they have. The flow meaning the glide across the ice, the effortless look.
And my heart is very sure no one else could love you more. I know I never lived before, and my heart is very sure no one else could love you more.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime at the Copacabana!
No mistakes yet, but
No.
so far this season, stumbles, little bobbles in both of their original dances, Skate Canada and Trophy La Lake, although they came back after being in second place in Paris to win the free dance and win the gold medal there. And last year they had problems in the original dance. Why do you think that is,
Well,
Peter?
they have said that they are working out the kinks. In other words, they come into the season not 100% prepared. Their choreography is difficult, so it tends to get away from them at times. steps like this diagonal step sequencing, hand in hand, arm in arm, looking much more together here. Now we see them step apart from each other, and they're a little bit of a unison problem, not as tight as it should be. So they still have a little way to go with this. Conclude with their dance lift.
Sigh of relief, perhaps, though, that there wasn't a major mistake, and they don't have to answer all the questions afterwards.
It's better. It's a very aerobic dance in that it takes a lot of energy and stamina to get through, but through that difficult step sequence, not together.
It will be interesting to see what the judges do, though, with Anasina and Peisera.
Here's the lift that they do. One thing that's good about this is the coverage it has across the ice. In other words, it really travels a lot, showing good control. Now we're going to take a look at their step sequence. It starts off okay, but they start to fall out of unison right there. You can see they're not turning exactly the way they should together. So judges see little things like that. Not where they want to be yet.
So who do you like? Who would you put in first?
Composition.
I would put
5-8, 5-7, 5-6, 5-8.
Drobia. No, yeah, I put Drobiazko and Vanagas in first.
All right. Let's see what the judges do. Composition 5.6 to 5.8, and those are much higher than the Lithuanians. Remember the low mark for Drobiazko and Vanagas was 5.3, and now the marks for presentation much higher. A couple of 5.7s and the rest 5.8. So the judges disagree with Peter here, but he's sticking to his story.
I'm an Olympic pair skater after all.
Also a former ice dancer, though, too.
That's true.
In any case, the opinion of the judges, that's the one that counts. And Anasina and Peisera into first place after the original dance. Drobiazko and Vanagas in second. Winkler and Losa, a key spot right now. They are in third. And the Americans, Kegel and Fedyukov, down in 8th place. Don't forget, you can see the finals of the ice dance competition as well as the pairs free skate over on Lifetime. Friday night, our coverage begins at 9 o'clock Eastern. Then the men and the ladies skate for gold over on ABC Sports, 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 Pacific time, Sunday afternoon. When we continue from Japan, the ladies take the ice. The high-profile Russian showdown. Arina Slutskaya takes on Maria BUTYRSKAYA next. 4 Grand Prix gold medals and an unblemished record so far this season. Combined, they have won a world title, 5 European championships, and 7 Russian gold medals. Tonight, they meet for the first time this year. Arina Slutskaya takes on Maria BUTYRSKAYA next. Welcome back, everybody, to Asahikawa, Japan. A busy night here, and there's one thing that's for sure. None of us will be driving the streets on this evening. Number 1, the snow. Number 2, they drive on the opposite side of the street here in Japan. And we welcome you back inside the Taisetu Ice Arena as NHK Trophy continues. The ladies on the ice warming up for their short programs, and the standings through 5 events in the Grand Prix so far. 3 skaters have already qualified for the Grand Prix finals. Sarah Hughes from the U.S. should go. Slutskaya trying to qualify here, as are 3 other skaters, including Jenny Kirk. Again, everybody, Terry Gannon back with Peter Carruthers. Slutskaya, BUTYRSKAYA has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
It definitely does.
They have met many times throughout their career, but this is the first time this season. How do you split them, Peter?
Well, it's interesting to see Slutskaya and BUTYRSKAYA going against each other for the first time. As far as BUTYRSKAYA is concerned, she's won 2 events on the Grand Prix, but last week in Paris, France, she should not have won there. She is not skating her best. She has the world champion factor going for her. The judges, in other words, holding her up even when she doesn't skate her best.
So in terms of performance, maybe you give the edge to Slutskaya a little bit.
You would in some ways, because Slutskaya has what she really needs, and that is a big win against Michelle Kwan.
Yep.
She beat her at Skate Canada. Her confidence is definitely running high, so it'll be interesting to see how they go together.
There is another story here, though. The young American, the 16-year-old who has been the surprise story so far this season, Jenny Kirk, who won the bronze medal a week ago in Paris. No one expected her to do that, and here she is again. If she stands on the podium here, she'll make it to the Grand Prix final.
Absolutely. 16 years old. This is her second international Grand Prix event, and this is the young lady that should have beaten BUTYRSKAYA in France. She's very strong, she's exciting, and she's, I think, making these two Russian ladies look over their shoulders. She's definitely nipping at their heels.
Great future, but she's skating so well now, too. Well, the ladies' short program, as always, 2 minutes and 40 seconds in length, worth 1/3 of the overall score, and Peter, 8 required elements.
Yes, and they are tricky elements. One of the things to look for in the required elements is the jump combination. That can make or break the ladies in the short program.
And the one-on-one matchup here between the two top skaters in this event happens right out of the gate. You've got Arina Slutskaya taking the ice first here in Japan. Maria BUTYRSKAYA will be next. But here is the 3-time world medalist from Russia. She finished second at the World Championships, of course, last season behind Michelle Kwan. She's already defeated her once this season in the Grand Prix. She won the gold medal at Skate Canada, a gold medal at Cup of Russia. Here's the 21-year-old from Moscow.
She will begin with the triple Lutz double loop combination. That's the best I've seen her do that. The run out on the landing, very secure and good glide across the ice.
She won the Grand Prix final last season, beat Michelle Kwan there.
Now the triple flip, right foot picking in to get her up in the air. She's just really into her game here. Good rhythm, good timing. Watch where she takes this spin all the way back, both hands grabbing the blade.
If you haven't been with us over the past month and a half, you may wonder why she has won 2 gold medals and yet hasn't officially qualified for the final. Well, Skate Canada was a non-scoring competition. Remember, you can skate in 3 events, but only 2 count in the standings in terms of earning a trip to Tokyo.
Spinning nice and fast. This is where she really impresses the judges. First, the camel spin, then down into the sit spin, lay back, and then the Bielman spin, and she changes. And again, we see that great position that is so impressive. Well, if she's trying to send a message to her competitors, she certainly just did so with that program. Very secure and solid.
Secure, I think, is the word, Peter, and you hit it right on the head. I mean, more secure now and happier than she's been in a long, long time. A couple of years ago, almost quit the sport. She was so frustrated with her performances, came back strong last year, and even stronger now this season. Arina Slutskaya.
This is the best I've seen her do this combination. The reason being she stays so nice and straight, and she lands perfectly where she should be on the blade. A really nice back position there. And what generates that rotation is the feet coming together like that, and then the left foot going slightly back, preparing her for the double loop. Very nice. And this is the triple flip, that right foot picking in, getting her up in the air. I really like her air position, giving her a stable landing. And this is just terrific. The changes of position, the flexibility that she shows. And look at this spin does not really drop off in speed. She's able to generate and go faster as she does the spin. Really nice.
Now the first of two sets of marks for Arina Slutskaya alongside Zhana Gromova, her coach since she was 6 years old. Maria BUTYRSKAYA on the ice. Little snack before she's about to take on Slutskaya in the short. 5.7s, 5.8s for required elements.
This is really going to be a great competition because now BUTYRSKAYA knows how well she has to skate. Really, Slutskaya has left her no room to make mistakes. These are solid scores.
And now for presentation, couple of 5.7s, the rest 5.8s once again. So even though she's the first lady on the ice, they've left some room, but not much at the top at all. Good start for Arina Slutskaya. Up next, Irina's longtime rival from Russia, the 6-time Russian national champion, Maria BUTYRSKAYA, skates when we come back. Back in Japan, the NHK Trophy continuing now, the ladies short program. Terry Gannon, Peter Carruthers with you. Very high marks so far for Arina Slutskaya. Now it is up to Maria BUTYRSKAYA, the first Russian lady ever to win a world championship. That was in '99, but she has lost 4 consecutive times to Slutskaya.
What a great short program from Maria BUTYRSKAYA, and where she edges out Slutskaya is the passion that she shows when she skates, the expression, the maturity. She really kind of takes over in that department.
Best short program we have seen this year from the 28-year-old elegant mature veteran from Moscow. She's trying to win the NHK Trophy for the 3rd consecutive year.
This was a very nice opening triple Lutz. and then followed up by the double toe loop. So her hard combination out of the way in the beginning of the program. And then she followed through with this beauty. A big triple flip. The right foot jabs into the ice to get her up in the air, and then a very stable landing. Sometimes she pitches forward, not there. Nice. And of course, her layback spin ending the program, but look at, she adds a little bit of grace and beauty to the sport in a short program that demands so much with the required elements.
Tough job for the judges now to split Maria BUTYRSKAYA with the performance of Slutskaya. Required element marks. Oh, those are lower.
Wow.
A couple of 5.5s up to 5.7.
Too low to see a 5.5. She was better than that.
And now presentation marks. Well, those are higher. 5.7 up to 5.9. But the Polish judge, the only one that put her in first place. She is in second behind Slutskaya, and she's gone. And up next, the young challenger from the United States, Jennifer Kirk, who had a surprise bronze medal finish just a week ago. No time to rest, though. She then had a hard day's journey to get here to Japan from Paris.
We went from Paris to Frankfurt, and then Frankfurt to Osaka, and then Osaka to Sapporo, and then it was the 2-hour bus ride here.
Earlier today, a look at the snow falling down at the Kamikawa Shinto Shrine. Shinto, a religion that originated here in Japan, and it holds nature and the natural setting in high regard. Plenty of that in this area. Well, don't forget, you can see the ladies skate for gold along with the men Sunday afternoon over on ABC Sports. Arina Slutskaya against Maria BUTYRSKAYA for the gold medal. Yevgeny Plishenko skating for gold for the men. The NHK Trophy continuing Sunday at 2 Eastern, 1 Pacific time over on ABC. Meanwhile, the action continues here in Japan, and if you didn't see her last week in Paris, sit down and watch. 16-year-old Jenny Kirk of Newton, Massachusetts.
Her music from the musical Evita, performed by Madonna, and this young lady will just unleash the jumps. She opens with the triple Lutz, followed up by the double toe loop. Beautiful.
The 2000 World Junior Champion, 7th at the U.S. Nationals last season, but destined for a lot better things in the future. Bronze medal already in the Grand Prix. If she stands on the podium here, she should go to the Grand Prix final.
Footwork into her triple flip. So conditioned. Remember, from the ages of 6 to 12, she trained with the Boston Ballet, and this has really given her a terrific foundation. Look at the extension on the spiral sequence. That's what you call selling your program, Terry.
Nothing affects her.
No.
How many 16-year-olds get a chance to see the world? Paris one week, Japan the next week, and oh yeah, we'll do a little skating in between too.
Absolutely. She's so well trained by Mary Scottvold, who trained Paul Wiley, and Nancy Kerrigan does her program every day.
And to follow Slutskaya and BUTYRSKAYA, what a performance from Jenny Kirk.
Opens up with a bang here. This is the triple Lutz. Right foot picking in. She will eventually want to get a little more height on that, but she's got the ability to really spin fast without the height at this point because she can bring her legs and arms in so fast. And she does that again here with the triple flip. Really tight rotation. Nice. Look at the extension on the end and going right into a nice step out of that jump. Well done. And I really enjoy the way she executes her character within the skating. Look at this. Just getting out there and really showing the audience what she has, her emotional side. Very nice.
There's Evie Scottvold along with Mary Scottvold, her coaches, and as you mentioned, Paul Wiley, Nancy Kerrigan, among those who they have coached in the past. Now the required element marks, 4.6.
Well, come on. They can't, it's not, again, I feel like this is last week all over again because we really took apart the judges there. They're not giving her the score she deserves, certainly with a 4.6.
Reputation over performance, I guess. Presentation marks 5.0 up to 5.5. Jenny Kirk in third place, again, perhaps deserving better marks. When we come back, the 99 Grand Prix final champion, Tatyana Malinina of Uzbekistan. She's trying to get back to the final once again, and she will skate when we return to Japan. The ladies' short program continues here at NHK Trophy as one of the skaters, Jenny Kirk, is trying to edge out for a spot at the Grand Prix final, takes the ice. Tatyana Malinina of Uzbekistan, the 27-year-old who for a long time now has lived and trained in Dale City, Virginia.
Triple Lutz, double toe loop. Good start for her.
This is a comeback year for Tatyana. She was the 99 Grand Prix final champion, had a great year during the course of that season, and then struggled last season. Went from 4th to 18th at the World Championships.
Triple flip, a little sluggish there, possible 2-foot touchdown. She's a lot more sure of herself this year in her skating. Last year really having a lot of trouble, but she's gained the confidence she needs to go out and execute.
She had a lot of injuries last season too. She had a groin injury, she had a cyst removed from her left heel. That kept her off the ice for a long time and barely missed qualifying for the Grand Prix final by the vote of one judge in the final competition here at NHK.
Straight line footwork sequence. Judges wanting to see agility. That's why it's a requirement within the short program. And her toe could be turned out on that layback spin. But much better for her this year.
27 years of age. Remember Maria BUTYRSKAYA at 28, and everyone talks about how mature she is and the age factor, the oldest world champion ever. Tatiana Malinina still going strong at 27.
This got off to a good start, the triple Lutz jump, and she really carries through for a good double toe loop here. The jump combination that can be so treacherous for these ladies. Now, this is the triple flip. Right foot gets her up into the air, but right there you could see a slight touchdown, so 1 or 2/10 of a point. That is touchdown with her other foot.
Now, do you really think the judges follow those guidelines?
Well,
5-7.
they don't.
5-9.
No.
5-6. 5-3.
And
5-4.
it's clear that
5-4. 5-3.
Jenny Kirk was not going to be ahead of Malinina here. Malinina was good, but not as good as Kirk.
You saw the first set of marks. Now the presentation marks coming up. Both sets higher than those of Jenny Kirk. 5.3 to 5.7. The only judge to put Malinina in fourth behind Jenny Kirk, the judge from the USA. So right now, Tatiana Malinina moves ahead of Kirk into third place. And up next, one of the hometown skaters, Fumi Suguri, the 19-year-old from Japan, is next. Right now, it's Arina Slutskaya in the lead over Maria BUTYRSKAYA, then Tatiana Malinina ahead of Jenny Kirk as Fumi Suguri takes the ice, the 19-year-old from right here in Japan.
Actually, she's been skating well, looking very good in practice.
Solid bronze medal finish at Skate Canada, so Fumi can earn a trip to Tokyo in the Grand Prix final with a good performance here at NHK.
And this could be a big combination for her. She may attempt the triple Lutz, triple toe. There's the triple Lutz and only a double toe loop. That's certainly within the requirements, but she has done a triple toe off the end of that Lutz. Skating into the triple flip. Nice job, really solid. And I like the speed that she has. Good fast spinning right there in one spot.
She's coming off a tough season, which was full of injuries, and saw her only grab a bronze medal at the Japanese National Championships. But after the bronze medal at Skate Canada, she wasn't scheduled to compete here, but the federation here in Japan made sure she entered this competition because she does have the chance to go to Tokyo.
Jump in her program, the double axel, getting through that with ease. Well, I'll tell you, that was a very good performance. She stepped up and met the demand that was upon her to get through the program without mistakes, and she had a lot of nice speed across the ice. Her glide, the flow, very nice.
Go Fumi signs all around this arena here in Asahikawa. A lot of pressure for her, too, skating in her home country and all the hopes of the people here. Fumi Suguri, heck of a performance with her short program.
Got off to a really strong start here with the triple Lutz. Look at the height that she gets. And then the double toe loop. Had to check a little more, throw that left arm in front to get herself set up for the double toe, but very good. And then this is the triple flip. Again, she really has a nice air position, allowing her a very secure landing and skating out effortlessly, the sign of a good jumper.
And alongside her coach, Nobuo Sato, the father of Yuka Sato, the great skater from Japan. First set of marks now. Required elements 5.3 up to 5.7.
Well, I don't understand the 5.3. The performance was much better than that, but it is nice to see a 5.7 from Japan, and it's called for in this case.
Hard to pick that performance apart. And presentation marks 5.4 up to 5.7. So those are good enough to put Fumi Saguri into third place, and that is critical as she tries to get to the Grand Prix final and beat Melina and Jenny Kirk of the U.S. for that spot. And up next, the final skater here in the ladies short program, the 20-year-old from San Pedro, California, Angela Nikodinov, is next.
5-3. Thank you.
Maria Butyrskaya taking in the action. Her work is done for the evening. She is in second place right behind that woman, Arina Slutskaya, who is the leader so far in the short program, both with their winter coats on. It's cold outside, but guess what? It's not a whole lot warmer inside this arena right now. And here is the final skater to take the ice in the ladies short program from the U.S., Angela Nikodinov. The 20-year-old from San Pedro, California, needs to finish second or higher here. That's a long shot, but if she would do that, she would go to the Grand Prix final, at least have a shot.
The advantage she has is skating last. Judges no longer reserve marks for anyone. So if she can turn in a solid performance, things could go well for her. But it begins here with the triple Lutz, double toe loop, very secure.
You know, Peter, a disappointing finish for her at Skate America. She placed 5th, but she really impressed everyone. Number one, with her fitness level this year, much better equipped to take on a long season. Worked out a lot in the summer. Also, her presentation skills. She has since changed coaches from Richard Callahan back to Lake Arrowhead, California.
She did a double flip there. You can do a double jump, but of course a triple will get you more credit. Double axel. The connecting work that she has in between the jumps is definitely improved over last year. Nice use of her arms. An improvement, but she's got to be saying to herself, why did I miss that triple flip? She really wanted it. She needed that. But she missed the toe on the takeoff when she jabbed the foot in. Timing was wrong, and she only did a double. But still, She has improved with her artistry for sure.
And not really concerned with the Grand Prix final at this point, really trying to get ready for the U.S. Championships in Boston. Angela Nikodinov.
What happens here is the timing is wrong. The toe jabs in, but it really doesn't give her the vaulting action that she needs to complete the triple. But she really had a nice start with this triple Lutz. The toe going in exactly the way it should to create 3 nice revolutions and then a double toe loop afterwards.
Yelena Cherkasskaya, now her coach. She has been her choreographer, but now she's handling both roles, as I mentioned, out in Lake Arrowhead, California. First set of marks now, 5.0 to 5.4.
Well, had she done that triple flip, these scores would have been higher. Not bad at all for Nikodinov for required elements.
What about presentation now? 5.3 up to 5.6, and those aren't bad either, Peter.
No, very secure on those scores, taking a 5.6. She's got to be happy with that.
Puts her into 5th place ahead of Jenny Kirk. So one American edging out another American to round out the top 5. Look at the standings. Arina Slutskaya in the lead after the short program over Maria BUTYRSKAYA. That will be a great free skate. Fumi Saguri in 3rd place, just ahead of Tatiana Molinina at this point. And don't forget, you can catch the free skate for the ladies as well as the finals for the men Sunday afternoon over on ABC Sports. We'll be with you at 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 Pacific. And Friday evening, the finals for the pairs and ice dancers over on Lifetime.